Hi, and welcome to our number 5 podcast for the Codependent Knitters. My name is Lisa, and this is
Dawn.
We're from Sarnia, Ontario, and we are... What are we doing today?
Today?
Oh, I know what we're doing.
Today, we have a lot of really cool stuff to talk about today. We're going to do our giveaways from our Love Local Make-Along. We have an exciting announcement. This is the debut announcement of a new pattern book that friends of ours wrote.
Local here to Sarnia.
Local to Sarnia.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. And we had a couple little trips. We had some other podcasters come visit us. And we have a few finished objects.
A couple of finished objects, but we also, we've been on holidays separately. So we have kind of adventures there.
And a few whips, and that'll be it. And hopefully it won't be an epic podcast today. And hopefully our technical issues are a little better today. We've moved our camera back to where it was before episode 4, so we hope it's better. And I'm going to nudge Lisa to speak up.
To speak up, yes.
And I'll try not to speak so loud. Yeah.
Oh, so I have to tell you,
what?
My beautiful gray sweater that I finished, the really light gray one that was silk and wool.
That was the roslyn.
Yes, it was the Cascade roslyn. It was wool and silk.
And I can't remember, did you finish that before our last podcast or just after? I remember showing
I finished it before.
Okay.
I did finish it before.
Okay.
So my husband says to me, "Hey, hon, I did all the laundry. I even put your stuff that doesn't go in the dryer sitting on the rack." And I went downstairs, and lo and behold, my sweater was one of the items sitting on the rack. And just so everybody knows, it shrinks in the wash. And my daughter has a really nice crop top.
So did you actually wear it?
I did.
It's been warm.
I've worn it a couple times. A couple times in the evening I wore it, but not very often. So.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Yeah, thanks for doing the wash, but you're not getting out of it that bad.
So you get to buy more yarn.
Yes, he says that. He says just go buy some more yarn. Like that makes everything better. Go buy more yarn. But yeah, he feels pretty bad. It was so comfy. It was so great.
It was a beautiful sweater. So it's not a superwash yarn, obviously.
Yes, no. Well, I knew that, but it's just usually when I do laundry, I just throw it on the top of the washer.
And he's been living with a knitter for like 20-some years.
We've been married for 24 years.
So he knows.
But, yeah.
I was telling my husband, no, I wasn't telling him that story. I was watching another podcast last night, a new one, and she was tearing out. She had a couple of whips that had been sitting forever, and she decided to rip instead of continue them, right?
Yeah.
So she was tearing one out and talking about how she was going to make something new with it. And my husband said, "That's a great idea. That's what you should do. Just knit something, tear it out, knit something else." And he said, "Then you would have to buy more yarn." I said, "Well, then I'd have nothing to wear."
I'd be naked.
Good idea, honey. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. So you had a little vacation last week?
I did. We went up to Muskoka. I got... Actually, funny story there. I had a big duffel bag of knitting because, all knitters have to bring project upon project, but there was nothing I wanted to do. So I kind of laughed to myself because my husband stopped, but the only thing you could find at the time was a Michael's. So I'm in Michael's buying the pattern I want on my phone and buying the yarn that I need to make the pattern. And I'm thinking to myself, how life has changed. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, normally you'd have to find a store, find the pattern, There
weren't even patterns online, right? When we started knitting, it was whatever was in the yarn shop.
Or the library or whatever
or that your grandma had. Or
So I did that. It was, I can show you, it's done.
Yes.
It's just not
locked. Gonna wait for whips?
Yeah, okay, I can do that. I can show you now.
Okay.
So it's this. I fell in love with it. It's like a shawl with the monkey.
The corner here.
Yeah, it's kind of...
It's like the...
work sock pattern.
Is that what it's called? Work sock
actually
shawl?
It's by Sam Lamb, and it's basically Wellington work sock shawl. I thought it was perfect for me.
Which sock monkeys are made out of work socks. Yeah. So
my daughter calls it the sock monkey pattern.
I love it.
And yeah, it's great. It was easy peasy. It's just some...
So this was... What kind of yarn is this from?
It's just Patton's 100%
the classic wool?
Yeah, the classic wool.
Nice.
So it's kind of nice. I finished it in the weekend, and
we'll link to the pattern.
Yeah.
And is it on Ravelry?
Yeah.
Free?
No.
Okay.
I paid for it and everything at Michael's. Got my PayPal card out, and
that's great.
I just remember thinking to myself, wow, things have changed. Like, that's pretty... buying the pattern and everything right online, and off I went.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you do anything exciting on when you were up there, or did you just relax?
We visited friends.
Visit?
We have some really good friends that live there, and we visited them. I also went to a knitting store. It's one of the ones, my old haunt. It's called Knitting 3 Together, and it's right on the way to Algonquin Park.
Okay.
So it's way up there. I have pictures. You can put them on at the end.
We'll add them. Yeah, we'll put a slideshow at the end of the podcast.
It's kind of nice. I didn't get to see my friend because she wasn't working, and I was on kind of a time constraint, given that, you know, the man and the girl child was there. So
yeah, you can't linger and browse. And
no, you can't. And
you didn't get anything. Good for you.
I didn't get anything. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to podcast last week, and we had kind of a spontaneous
somebody canceled
vacation. friends of ours from Winnipeg messaged us on the Friday night and said, "Hey, do you want to meet us in Wisconsin Dells next week?" And we've gone there. This was our 6th or 7th trip, and most of our trips there have been with them. So we decided, okay, yeah, we're going, leaving Sunday. So we had very little notice.
I loved your picture.
Wait. We'll talk about, I know what you're going to say. You're going to talk about the picture that shall not be talked about. Oh, the drive. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a long drive. Well, okay, it's 9 hours from here. And when you're from the prairies, long drives are not issues. I mean, we have friends here in Sarnia that haven't been to Niagara Falls because it's too far. Like, we go for a day trip. So we're used to long drives, but 9 hours isn't bad.
It's not bad.
No, we were there in time to still, you know, have dinner and have some fun.
But it was the whole picture of you going.
I worked on
how many different states?
5. Michigan. You go through Illinois briefly. No. Michigan, Indiana, a little bit. Illinois, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So 4 states.
Yeah.
But I was working on this, so I took pictures of the road signs along the way, and put them in one photo collage. It was a Sunday, so I didn't stop at any yarn shops, and my husband said he wasn't going to let me anyways. So, okay, no yarn shops. I took a lot of things to work on. We did some water parks, and the nice thing about the last week of August is
they're all in school.
Yeah, and it's slow until the long weekend. So we stayed on hotel points, both families at the same hotel, and then we got water park day passes for $8 a person, and we went to Mount Olympus this time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's normally
really
$40 per person.
Mm-hmm.
It is an amusement park and a water park, and plus there's an indoor water park.
Okay.
It's quite big. There's a lot to do there. So that was a blast. The amusement park, it's not like Canada's Wonderland or Cedar Point, Ohio. It's a little smaller, and there's maybe 5 or 6 roller coasters. A couple of them are pretty. One goes under the parking lot and comes up the other side, and it's got no, I did not do that one. So that was the scariest. The next,
I just realized what picture we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah. The next scariest one was still pretty intense. They're the old wooden roller coasters, which are they're hell on your body. And to me, they're way scarier because they just
because they seem rickety?
Oh my goodness, they feel rickety and out of control. And I just think this thing is going to break apart and fly off the tracks. So So my son went on the next scariest one with my husband and was pretty scared by it. And I thought, okay, get back on the horse. So there was a smaller one where you have to only be 42 inches to ride, right? And it has like a little belt.
do that.
Yeah. You pass. So I said, let's go on this one. It's really small. I'll go with you. We can do it. Try to get him, to not be scared. It was intense enough for me. Yeah. Okay, I'm the person who lost my voice screaming on Thunder Mountain Railroad in Disneyland or Disney World. So, so we came down. I looked at it after and it looks so short. We came down the one hill, and my husband and our friend were waiting for us down there and watched us go by, and she recorded us on her phone. So we get off the ride. My legs were shaking.
Oh my God.
And I was trying not to scream because I didn't want to freak out my son. So I'm trying not to scream.
She screamed.
On the ride. No, I didn't. I wasn't just screaming. I was just like making no sound came out. So I guess my husband saw us go by and said to her, oh my gosh, you should have seen the look on her face. You have to watch the video. So she replayed it and slow-moed it on her phone and almost peed her pants laughing. So we caught a still of me, and I can't even, like, it was just like horror. I can't even make that face. Like, if I try now, I can't duplicate it.
Okay, you know what? It's funny. The picture is funny.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. And this is the picture she's not allowed to show. But it is hilarious.
I'll put it on.
But it's also one of those things where I would feel the same way.
Oh my gosh. It was just when we came down the one hill and started to turn, it was just like, that's one of those moments where I thought the whole thing was going to collapse.
Those screws are going to fall out.
So I will put it on. I'll stick it in probably right here. It's kind of blurry because it's
but the
freeze.
horror is still crystal clear.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So hours later, and even like 2 days later, we'd be doing something and she'd just start, my friend would just burst out laughing.
I wasn't there and look at me.
I know. And then we'd have tears thinking about the picture again. We'd have tears coming out of our eyes, laughing at this
laughing at your
the look
pain.
on my face. It's ridiculous. So we did have a good time though.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then on the way home, we were driving back, and in the car driving, and my husband said, "So where was that yarn shop you wanted to stop at?" And I looked at him like, are you teasing me? Is this too good to be true?
He's getting romantic.
So he let me stop at a yarn shop, and it worked out that it was right around time for lunch. So they went and got some lunch, and I went and
you got browse time out of it.
A little bit. I stopped at Knit 1, Purl 2.
Oh, what's in there?
In Rockford, Illinois. It was fairly close to the Wisconsin-Illinois border, like just south of, it was past Madison, because that's in Wisconsin. Anyways, it was in Illinois. The woman who helped me, I don't know if she's the owner or not. Her name is Julie. She was amazing. She was showing me all kinds of stuff, and they had ladies in there knitting, and I'll put pictures up at the end because it is an adorable yarn shop. I picked that up. Two guys yarn company. She said this is a local company, so it's Two Guys Yarn Company, and they do all of these tweeds.
Neat.
So it's called Tweedy Toes.
I'm so pretty. It's the color.
I could not. There were a lot of really nice colors. I went with this because I'm hoping. I don't know if it's too pink. It might go with some of the colors if I do the free or fade.
Nice.
So I got this. And I know everyone's kind of like faded out, but I want to do a free or fade, and I like them because I want to do things that blend sort of subtly. I don't like stripes. So if I do shawls, I don't like big chunky stripes. I don't even love when there's just garter, like one row striping. So that's, I like the fade for that reason, that I like gradients and things that change like that versus stripes. So I'm still going to do one. And this may or may not be in it. And then the other two.
Oh, look at, they got sparkles.
Speckle. Oh, yeah, you can catch it there in the light.
In the dark one.
It's a ton of speckle.
That's pretty.
So it's a black, charcoaly black. That's going to be fun to knit with. And this teal. Oh, why am I holding it way over here?
I don't know.
I'm trying to show, yeah, it's catching. I just want the color and this teal.
That's kind of.
And they're the light's blowing it out, but
it's pretty.
So this is by Anzula Luxury Fibers. It is hand dyed.
In California.
The base is they call it Nebula. It's from California. And it is 84% superwash merino and 16% sparkling stellina. Like, this lights up like a Christmas tree. It's really pretty. And there is 400 yards or 365 meters per skein. So this I'm actually
just trying to steal it.
Just trying to enhance your bust there. This is I'm actually going to put these together.
That's
which
really
means
pretty.
It's going to be some kind of stripey, or I like the ones that Lisa Much does, where she has two colors. So I'm going to go out of my comfort zone for these, but they're similar in
tone.
Yeah, and in how deep the color is. So it's not like a stark contrast. But I love them. That's a good way to show them right there.
It's nice.
Yeah. So because it was sparkle, and I don't see a lot of sparkle around here in yarn shops, I'm hoping to see some at the Kitchener Fair. So we did that. That was
That's a good segue.
my pickups. Yeah, we can talk about the Kitchener Fair. That's coming up this weekend. Hopefully you've seen our podcast before, but you may be watching it after. It is Ontario's Rhinebeck. Maybe.
Yes. Well, yes.
I mean, it's not as big, I'm assuming.
I don't think they have as
been to
many.
Rhinebeck.
They don't have as many sheep. Don't have any sheep. It's just for knitting. It's just yarn. Yeah.
But it is the bigger one.
Yes,
in southwestern
it is
Ontario.
one of the bigger
I shouldn't
ones
say
in
all
our
of Ontario.
area.
Southwestern Ontario and Western Ontario, it is the bigger one.
Yeah.
So it's in Kitchener, and it's in their arena, and they have 2 arenas, and I believe they're using both sides. And I've heard people mention an upstairs. Kitchener
Auditorium. Yeah.
The vendor fair is Saturday, and on Sunday there are workshops by Lily Chin.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fiber
people
Friends will be there.
Yes, Fiber Friends will be there.
They have their own, and they're doing the release of their next
their kits.
So
I want to pick up one of those. It's a fall kit. We don't know what the bag is going to look like. We don't know what the pattern is. We don't know what the yarn is going to be. It's a big surprise, but it will be beautiful. And they have mentioned, what were they calling it? Like the micro market? I think they're smaller booths for some of the smaller, like indie people.
dyers and stuff.
And a couple of people have said upstairs, which means they're going to have stuff upstairs. So I don't know if I haven't looked at the map yet. It's only a couple days away. I have to do my planning. So it's
I'm driving.
Lisa's driving.
She can plan the whole way there.
I'm hoping to find something in sparkle just because you don't see much. And I'm looking for, I always love checking out the indie dyers because those are things you just don't find everywhere, right?
Yep.
I'm not going to buy Tosh or Malabrigo that I can buy in a yarn shop at any time during the year. That's my goal.
That's what she's saying.
sometimes some of those booths, the bigger stores have good sales, but yeah, no, I can get that whenever. So I'm looking for more independent stuff.
Do you want to do these things now?
Yeah.
Before we get too far gone?
I do.
Okay.
You talk about the giveaway.
Okay, so we had, is it for our make-along?
It is for our Love Local.
For our Love Local make-along, we have our giveaways. We have the 3 items. Should I show them? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have this one, which is yarn.
Dream Time.
Dream Time by Old Oak Yarns, which is 1/3 of the Fiber Friends. That's Adrian.
Dream Time.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's purples and blues and some black.
Yeah.
And I know Adrian loves these colors. And
I love those
I
colors.
do too. So this, since I noticed her Etsy shop, like after we first heard of them, and I checked out her Etsy shop, this has been my favorite colorway that's been in her shop so far. And I haven't bought it yet, but it's in my path somewhere.
And this one's from Crafty Mama.
This is from Crafty Mama Designs.
Crafty Mama Designs, and it's a bag with bags.
It's a bag.
Bag, yay!
There, she does put a progress keeper with the lever back, so you can use it for crochet. I can move it over because you're there.
That's all right. It's really cute.
This,
it's really
this
pretty.
is her.
It's very soft and
I
puffy.
forget if this is her medium size. So you can easily do a skein in there, and you could probably squeeze in 2 if you were working on a shawl because it's got the wide box corner bottom.
Nice.
Her bags are very well made.
I like her little ends part.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in the package so I don't destroy the packaging. But I did take it out in the previous episode. She covers her zippers, which is a very nice detail. And the seam inside when she closes up the lining, hand stitched. Yeah, she hand stitches them, and they're pretty much invisible. So beautiful gift from her.
Okay.
Both of these, I just want to say, were very generously donated by these lovely makers. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it so much.
Oh, definitely. And then there's this one, which was donated by the lovely...
By Dawn. My shop is not ready yet because of this spontaneous vacation last week. It put me back a week. And now we're getting ready for Kitchener. It will hopefully be next week.
Okay, so this is actually not just a bag with a progress marker.
You want me to hold this?
Yeah. So this, I love this fabric. It's all the monuments.
It's American monuments.
American monuments. And she's actually got a monument here.
I think it's the Empire State Building.
I don't have my glasses on.
I think it's... I'm pretty sure it's the Empire State Building.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's really nice, though. It's beautiful.
I wanted Statue of Liberty, but they were... I can't remember if they were sold out.
Yeah, you said they were sold out.
I think they were sold out.
And then there's the Notions for
a
your
notions pouch
and your
DPN keepers. And
so yeah, so that's a set. That's really nice.
Okay.
I don't know where she went to.
While we were talking about the needle keeper, so you can use these for.
I use them for my.
You
DPNs.
can use them for DPNs. If you're working on a sock on DPNs, you stick the DPNs into.
I don't have DPNs.
Into here. The sock comes out the middle, so the DPNs lay in the bottom, and you snap, and it just holds them in there, so you don't have DPNs falling out in your project bag. You can use them for circulars. Just put the 2 circulars in, push your knitting down, and snap.
I missed one, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it can hold your knitting onto your circulars. And when I was planning for this trip, I was working on something where I thought I might need DPNs, maybe for, it might have been the hat, you know, for when you do the decreases.
Yeah, the tiny part.
So I thought, okay, I don't want to just throw DPNs loose in my project bag because they're going to get kicked around and like I don't want them getting broken. You can just tuck them in here.
Snap them.
It is long enough. It's I think it's 7.5 or 7.25 inches long. So you tuck them in there and snap, and it's just a holder for extra DPNs in your project bag.
Yep.
And I do them with medium to a heavier interfacing, so they're
a little bit stiffer.
Yeah, they hold up a little better. So you can do that too, just to store if you need them to bring along in your project bag. So those are our 3 prizes. So there are 87 posts less, the first one is mine. So 86 entries, which is fantastic. And beautiful entries. If you want to see some talented knitting, check out the thread. It's locked for new entries, but it is still available to browse through. So some really busy and good skilled knitters in our
and thank you very much for everybody who participated. We do appreciate it. I you know what, I was having a really hard time not commenting because every so often I'd go on the comment section and go, oh my god, they all look so nice.
Yes.
Like I woke up one morning and there was a ton of them and I'm like, oh, but I can't.
Some people were putting them in the whip thread, which is great.
That was great.
Then we can ask questions,
even I think
comment.
somebody did a sweater. I don't know if she wants me to mention her name, but she did a sweater and then she just put in the finished objects and I wrote her on the oh my goodness, it looks so beautiful. Yeah. So it was kind of cool.
Lovely.
So yeah.
So we're going to do, let's start with, you want to start with the bag set?
Okay.
The American Monuments bag set. Okay. So do you want to do the random on your phone and I'll look it up on mine because I'm already in our group.
I guess I have to ask Surrey.
You have to ask Surrey for a random between 2 and 87. Oh.
The answer is 3.
You turned Surrey on too fast.
Okay. Surrey, I need a random number between 2 and 87.
The answer is 63.
63. Thank you.
I just have to go check it out. Okay. So 63 is I'm a call. I'm just going to click on her and see. Linda. She's from Pennsylvania. Linda from Pennsylvania. And she did a beautiful shawl. She didn't put the name of the pattern on here. It's gorgeous.
Yay!
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Kind of triangular with lace on the bottom. So congratulations, you win the bag set, and we will get your address from you so we can send that to you. You wrote that down? 63?
I did.
Okay. Let's do Adrian's yarn.
Okay. Yay! Surrey, I need a random number between 2 and 87.
53.
53. She's on a 3 kick.
53 is Knit, Live, Love. Okay, and it is a hat. It is the Asphodel Potion hat that she test knitted for Barbara Naluko. Oh, it's really nice. There's a picture of it here. Who is, I've forgotten, Verena,
yes, she's
in Germany. So we will send this to you, Verena. FYI, I had mailed your last prize to you, which was the bag, the sheepy bag. I mailed it almost a month ago, and it's probably not going to be there for another month. Canada Post told me 6 to 8 weeks to get to Germany, and I said, "Are you sending it by canoe?"
Canoe?
So yes, this one will get out to you, but it's just going to be a bit of a wait. So congratulations to you, Verena, and Adrian. Your yarn is going to Germany. And then next one. Do one more.
Okay, one more.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I have a random number between 2 and 87?
It's 76.
76. 76. Wow, that's so lot.
74, 75. I gotta go to the next page. 76. It's Cerulean Blue, who is... She doesn't have her real name on here. She's in the UK. We are international, baby.
I know, eh?
And she did the Moving to the Country Shawl by Christy Houghton of Yarn Cafe Creations.
Yay.
And it's beautiful. This is another shawl I'd like to make. I like the irregular triangle a little more than regular
that's
triangle
pretty,
shells.
eh?
It's really pretty.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay, so congratulations, everyone. Wow,
We'll send them
prizes
messages.
coming out to you. Yeah, we'll get in touch and we'll get your addresses. I'd imagine the UK will probably take a long time to deliver, just like Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Wish we could deliver these in person.
I know, right?
That'd be cool, but no.
So,
Okay, so that's our prizes. And while we're talking about alongs, we are starting a new one.
oh yeah,
This was your idea.
this is my idea, even though I've done like 3 in the last little
You
bit.
go, baby.
Okay, so in the summer, I decided that I wanted to do a fall shawl knit along because I've never really been taken with shawls, which is kind of funny.
Until the last month.
Until about the last month, in which I've made 3. But so we're gonna have a shawl fall knit along.
Fall shawl.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, when do we gonna have it end?
We started September 1st.
First.
We haven't put it up yet, but September
September
1st. September, October. Do you want to do 2 months or do you want to do 3?
Let's do 2 months because
Okay.
some of those shawls are pretty big.
Okay. And then people get into Christmas
Yeah.
knitting and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will end it at the end of October.
Okay.
And you know what that means when we talk about whips? One of mine counts. Not that I can win prizes, but still, I started it September 1st on the drive home.
Oh, so did I. No, I
Woohoo!
finished it on the drive home.
So the rule is going to be any shawl,
Any shawl,
any
Most of the
maker,
shawl, any maker, any yarn,
any yarn.
We'll have it a shawl fall free for all.
Love it. You can double dip. So if you're doing the Northbound Knits knit along with
Yep. Fiber Friends.
Fiber Friends podcast, it still goes. I think it goes to the end of October as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she does have other patterns, but she does have a lot of shawls. So I know a lot of people are
Yeah.
knitting shawls. Lisa Much,
They're very nice.
she has beautiful patterns.
Okay.
So you can double dip. You can double dip. We don't care. We just care. We don't care if you're a podcaster. We don't care if you're a yarn maker. We don't care. Yarn dyer. What?
Just we can't win.
We can't win. But we're going to enter other ones. We'll double
But
dip.
you
We
see-
can double dip.
Do you see those pretty prizes?
I know. So, well, would you like to win a bag?
Sure.
We just care that you knit it. That if you made it, knit or crochet, whatever it is, shawl.
I
So,
just, you know what
fall
I'm finding
shawl.
really interesting is seeing everything that everybody else made. And it's
Mhm.
exciting because,
Mhm.
I don't know, because maybe I need a life, but it's just, it's really great to see all the things.
But don't
that
you
they're making.
find you'll see something that someone is making, and then it's like, oh, I want to make that.
Yes, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's
Because
very
even when
bad.
you're looking through patterns, sometimes the color that was used
Yeah.
might not draw to you. Like there's just sometimes you see it made a different way by someone else in a different color or different. They might
And you
use
know
two
what?
colors.
I don't use a lot of colors, but when I look at something, I'm like, oh wow, that's really neat that
Mm-hmm.
they did that. I may not want to make it in those colors, but it's nice to see people's interpretation
Mhm.
of what they've, you know. Yeah.
And a lot of people
yeah.
do modify patterns slightly,
Yep.
and that's totally cool because it's a recipe,
Mhm.
and season it however you want. Make it yours.
Ooh, I like that. That was
Make it
good.
your- oh,
Season
it's
it
like
however you
we're like
want.
Delicious Dish. Did you ever watch that on SNL?
No.
Oh my God, you have to go watch it. It's older SNL.
I'm gonna have to watch
It's these
that.
two ladies that do a radio show, so we can see them, but their
No.
audience can't.
Yeah.
And that's the sweaty balls reference.
Okay, yeah,
And
okay.
they get so excited about baking soda. So That's fun.
Oh, I
Okay,
have to look that up.
now, okay, this is the
Are we
most
gonna do
exciting.
what I'm gonna do. What I want to do.
Yes, we're
Okay.
doing that next.
Yay!
Okay, so
Should we tell them about it first?
we're going to tell you first, then we're going to show you.
Okay.
So our friends, Christy and Gladys in Sarnia,
Yep.
are two ladies who work together.
They were together at a craft store.
craft
It was
store.
a great little store.
Gladys started the craft store
Yeah.
and asked Christy to help her manage it.
Mhm.
And they did that for a number of
did, yeah.
years until they decided to retire from that business.
Mhm.
And they sold yarn in their craft store and really took up the knitting, I think, when they were more involved in the craft store. One moment. Out! Go! Out! Bad cat.
Bad cat.
She'll meow now. Stop. Go! I'm going to cut that all out.
Really, you don't want me sitting here by myself meowing?
That was my cat Ginger, who
vocal.
likes attention when I'm busy doing other things. And she's very chatty. Hopefully she'll go sleep. Okay, so Christy and Gladys work together. We're knitters. Still continue to knit
Good
together.
friends.
Good friends.
Yeah.
And decided they had a vision of doing a
Christy's-
pattern
She
book.
was doing the
She did the American Afghan. The Great American Afghan.
and she got the idea of doing. Show them the picture.
A Canadian Afghan, eh? So they have just last week, got their books from the publisher.
Yep.
They used a publisher here in Sarnia.
Yep.
And we met with them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
I am so excited. I want to get my grubby paws
Okay.
on one.
this is done all in one color, and it's worsted weight yarn, and they give you a lot of suggestions inside about the type you can use. You can use Canadiana if you want. They used Cascade 220, and it is all Canadian motifs. So this is the cover picture.
Can you see them all?
Yeah, we're going to tell you about them. And on the back cover, there are individual pictures of each motif. And I also have the images to put in a slideshow at the end of our podcast. Okay. My favorite, well, first we'll talk about this. This can be done as separate squares, and they give you a suggested layout, but you can put them anywhere you want.
I want to do a couple as cushions.
Yes, you can do them as
I wanna
pillows.
do- yeah.
You could put a motif on a sweater.
Yeah. They're
Right?
just, you know what, they're so creative.
It's
They
a
blow my
pattern book.
mind. Just,
You don't have to do the Afghan. You could do a smaller one and make it a throw. I think the finished size is about 4.5 by 6.5 feet. And you can also knit it in one if you desire to haul.
That'd be heavy, man.
If you want to, you can. They give you instructions for how many to cast on and how to do that. So this is the podcast debut of this pattern book. It is coming to stores. They're in the process now of doing that. They will be at the Kitchener show in the Gemini Fibers booth, and Christy and Gladys will both be there Saturday morning selling their books. If you want them signed, you can have them signed. You can talk to them about it, ask them questions about it. They'll have the sample Afghan there with some other sample panels that people have done. They've got test knitters from all different skill levels. So they did have some beginners who worked on them. Stitch wise, the patterns are, let me just show you. Okay, charts can look intimidating if you don't know charts. Let me show you the owl. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to show the owl.
They're pretty straightforward.
They're all different textures. So they make the pictures using textured stitches, which is beautiful. They're all outlined. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. The outlining is all done with like a single cable stitch. No, these are all twisted like a cable. Oh, seed stitch edging. Okay. Gorgeous. The Mountie in the middle is beautiful. Yeah, I shouldn't show the chart. Well, they're so tiny you couldn't. The Mountie is just beautiful. And the books are priced at,
I don't know.
I think they said $24.99. I have my notes from our meeting with them 2 weeks ago. They told us it was going to sell for $24.99. I'm not going to guarantee that that's the price. That was when, before it was available. But I'm telling you, even if it was $29.99, even if it was $35, this is a steal, because there are.
Oh, they're just gorgeous.
Amazing. They've included, I think there are one or two extra motifs. So if you don't like something, you can change them around. If you don't like the one that says A, take it out, put something else in there. But the motifs are, okay, there's the Canada 150 logo.
Parliament Buildings.
Parliament Building.
Blue Nose, A. Inukshuk. Hockey, Oil Pump, Igloo, Lighthouse, Looney, Evergreen, Mountie, Canada, Canada Chart, Canada Flag, Wheat, Totem Pole, Rocky Mountains, Owl, Salmon, Beaver, Polar Bear, Border Right, Border Left, Border
Those
Bottom, Border Top.
All the charts. So there's a little bit of everything from Canada. It's beautiful. The Mountie blows my mind. The detail in it. So the work that went into this and the detail in these patterns and the charting.
You kind of have to see it to believe it.
It's
because
phenomenal.
we can explain it
Well,
right, left, and center. You should really see it to believe it. Ha 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 ha. Guess
would you
what?
like to see it? They let us borrow the sample Afghan, which is going to Kitchener this weekend.
Yes. This is one.
Yeah, but you want it outside of no? Okay. Yep, because there's the garter background. We're just going to duck behind the drape here. I hope you can see Canadian flag.
Yep.
Let's scroll it up. Mountie. Oh my goodness. This
Come this way a
Mountie.
bit. Yeah, the Mountie's pretty awesome.
And then the word Canada.
This way a bit. So yeah, it's really
Oh
pretty.
my
It's
goodness.
gorgeous. And they did such an amazing job. So yeah.
So there you go. This is a must-have, I think.
I might make a couple of cushions in gray.
Just to have these patterns.
I love the blue nose. It has to be
The
one of
blue
my
nose.
favorites.
That'd be great for a cottage.
Yeah.
Have the sailboat
Mm-hmm.
or some of the
I
like the
this
beaver
one for the
and the owl.
for a bolster. Like the where it says
Oh,
Canada.
that's a great idea.
It just is a bolster.
Doing a bolster cushion
Yeah.
with it.
Well, I was up in
Yeah.
cottage country in Muskoka. They have a lot of pillows where it's just like the maple leaf, which is great. Love them to death, but it's not. They get kind of boring after a while.
Beautiful. So congratulations, ladies. It will be at Kitchener Fair, as we mentioned. It will be available through Gemini Fibers, which is in Ontario.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've only been in Ontario 4 years, so I still don't know where everything is. But it's GeminiFibers.com.
Yeah, you can. I think you can probably order them online after this weekend.
After this weekend. And their official book launch will be locally at Heaven is Handmade Yarn Shop
Yay!
here in Sarnia, Saturday, September 16th.
Are we going?
You betcha. We're going to be there. If you live within an hour or 2-hour drive and you want to make a day trip, come on down. Come to Heaven is Handmade. There's a few other places you can stop in Sarnia if you're looking for yarn.
Or if you're looking for restaurants or whatever, you could probably
great
message us and we'll tell you where you can go or whatnot. Yeah.
If you want any
Feel free.
suggestions.
Best place is probably Ravelry or Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But
Their
we're not
contact
gonna
info, they are on Facebook. They're just getting going with this whole social media thing and promoting themselves. They are on Facebook as GC Designs.
Mm-hmm.
They are on Instagram as GC
GC
Designs 2017.
Yeah.
Their email
is gcdesigns2017 at outlook.com.
Their books will be available at Heaven is Handmade and at Gemini Fibers, as we mentioned. And I believe they are sending out promotional packages to different yarn shops around Canada as well.
Yep. I know Little Red Mitten and Heaven is Handmade. They've mentioned them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I pretty much any yarn store I've gone into, I've showed them. I think I have it on Instagram, and I've showed it too.
This is the hockey one. It's cute. 2 sticks and a puck. So
I have to
we're
say
totally
hockey
thrilled
is the
for
one
them.
Canadian thing I'm not too thrilled with.
What?
I'm not a hockey girl. Do you know how cold it gets in arenas?
Yeah, that's me watching home.
Mm-hmm. Are you a hockey girl?
I grew up. My brother played hockey.
Oh, okay.
And I grew up in northern Manitoba. So if you wanted to play a game against anyone, you had to hit the road, pretty much, because he was on the travel team. So we traveled to arenas every weekend. There were all the sisters were, we did some kind of lame cheers, but the sisters all went. And then actually, when I was in junior high, one of the older girls who had a brother, my brother's age, wanted to start a girls team. So this was sort of the advent of girls hockey. Like, it was still fairly new in Canada.
Did you play?
And it was mostly hockey sisters. We played. There was one girl my age who actually played on the boys' team. She was an amazing hockey player. She did play with us as well, but she played with the boys' teams as well. She's very good. And I mean, some of us were out there in figure skates at the start. And we practiced and we played. And we went to a tournament in Surrey, BC. And we came in 4th.
Good job.
There were 4 teams. You know what? The other team in Surrey billeted us, and it was amazing. We had so much fun.
You know what? Good.
Oh my gosh.
Good times.
That was when, so it was girls coming out in hockey, right? And there was just starting to become equipment made for girls. So I forget the brand.
Gotta love going out to find that.
I forget the brand. It might have been, was it Reebok that made the pants at the time? Anyways, no, we wore regular jocks.
Bauer.
I don't remember the brand, but they had shoulder pads that came down and had big plastic cups, like circles. We looked like Vikings, like, you know, except they weren't pointed. Oh my goodness. But to protect the girls. So we had special, I don't remember having a special jock, but we had special chest protectors.
I used to play softball, and we were traveling, and I had to go find a female jock, which it's called a Jill.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I like hockey. I don't watch it much now. I like watching the World Juniors over the Christmas holidays because it's good, intense hockey, and there's no fights, and they're playing for it.
I love box lacrosse.
I've never watched lacrosse.
Love lacrosse.
Never watched it.
It's very
I heard it's really rough though.
Very rough and very fast paced. But yeah, I love box lacrosse. We used to go to, when we lived in Cambridge, we used to go watch the Rock play, or we'd go watch in Buffalo.
What Rock? Like the Rock?
Not the Rock.
Oh, well, never
the
mind.
Rock,
then.
the team.
That was the team name. Good name.
I know. It's Toronto Rock.
The Rock. I'm like, what?
No. I'd still be stalking that boy.
I'm a fan. Even the fanny pack picture, I'm a fan.
That was funny. Okay. And the hair.
And the hair. Yes, I'm an 80s girl.
He's yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
in
other knitting news,
I went to Knit Stitch at in London for knit
without
night.
me. I was supposed to go.
You were supposed to go. Where did you went away?
I went away.
I went with Noelle. Hi, Noelle. We had a good time. We picked out colors for a lace shawl. Okay. I did, however, get more yarn. One of the first times we went.
We mentioned it on the last podcast.
We mentioned it on the last podcast. I fell in love with this, and I bought 2 skeins.
Sweet Georgia.
In gray. And I went back and I bought 2 more so I can get a sweater instead of something else. So
I love Sweet Georgia yarn. It's very soft.
I know, it's nice.
Silver. Another word for gray. So you got more.
I got more, so now I have a sweater quantity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
nice.
But that was all I got there. That's all I got at all.
At all. You have no other yarn acquisitions?
Well, just the one that my husband stopped
that
for.
You showed. Yeah.
Yeah, so other than that, that's all I did together.
We had an exciting visit.
Oh, yeah.
We had an exciting month because we had visitors from London.
Yes, our friends from Fiber Friends. It was really good.
Yeah. Adrian and Louise.
And iPad Caroline.
Came for a day trip.
She was high maintenance. We had to carry iPad Caroline.
We had to haul her around all day. What a burden. They came for a day trip, and they're going to talk about that on their podcast. Yeah. So we'll just mention that they came. We had a really good time. We took them to our local yarn shop, Heaven is Handmade, and we sat and did some knitting for a while. Mm-hmm. We went to our local craft brewery and ordered in lunch from the best burger truck in town.
Come on, Louise, we'll get you another burger.
From Burger Rebellion. And we also took them to Feather Your Nest.
Yeah.
And so they had a good trip. They did some acquisitions. And they'll talk about all that.
And that was good.
Yeah. And I, when we were at Feather Your Nest.
Oh, that's your project.
I bought these. No. I didn't buy that day. I bought, so we were at Feather Your Nest right after the Grocery Girls mentioned the store. Yeah. And Jody had picked up some Blue Moon Fiber Arts fibers, so that was really hot at the time for Terry. She was getting calls about it.
Wasn't her husband in that day?
Yes,
that
Terry
poor
wasn't
man.
there.
He did a great job.
He was amazing.
He was amazing.
He was finding prices for us, and we even had to phone her. He did really well. He really did a good job.
He did a good job. Good job,
but
Terry. Don't worry about it.
She had these gradient kits on half price.
Yep.
So I got this one with grays. There may still be some You were there. You didn't buy
I
one.
was there. I couldn't
This
think of
one
what I
is-
would use it for.
This is, okay, the grays, sorry for all the noise. The grays are worsted weight.
And March hair.
There's 46 yards per skein, a total of 230 yards, 100% superwash merino. And Cheshire Cat colorway, all purples, plums, love it. This is sock fingering weight, 128 yards per skein, 5 skeins, 640 yards. Shawl quantity for sure. Like a good, not just a 1 skein shawl, like a shawl and a half. So I'm excited. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I have some gradients in the 2 colors that I love. I did not buy the Blue Moon
No, you didn't buy that day.
fiber that day, but I have been like ogling a skein of the Blue Moon. I'm just gonna put this here because I don't want to put it on the floor, and
I could wrap myself in it. But
we
it's
have
a
to
little
fold it
warm.
up. This is Peru by Blue Moon Fiber Arts, and it is 50% alpaca, 30% merino, 20% silk. It's amazing.
Did they have it in gray?
500 yards per skein. So it seems pricier at first, but when you consider the yardage, it's like having 2 skeins of something else.
And you only have 2 ends
Worsted
to tuck
weight,
in.
or actually I think it's Aran weight.
You only have 2 ends
I only
to
have
tuck
2
in.
ends to tuck in. So I'm doing Zilver by
Which I
Lisa
did.
Mudge, Northbound Knits,
Yep.
which you did, and you'll show in a minute in fingering. Our friend Noelle did it in this same yarn, different colorway, and I loved it. She was wearing it that day, and I loved it. So
I think I might have to go get one.
feel it. I mean, come on.
It's gorgeous. Like, it's just, yeah.
So
just-
Zilver is a
you know
really easy shawl.
This is one of these where I wasn't too thrilled with it on the skein, but I really like that color.
It's
Do you know
got
what I mean? It's
like a kind of a
It's got olive green, blue,
weird
teals, blues,
a light
smoky
teal.
blues.
the purple. Beautiful. It's so soft. I have not been inclined to want to do a sweater. I would do a sweater in this yarn. Like, it would be fantastic to wear. And it's a lot of alpaca though. I don't know if it would get too sloppy, but
Could get
oh my
long,
gosh,
yeah.
I'd have to do a tighter gauge.
Mhm.
So that's one of my whips, and I bought that at Feather Your Nest.
Mhm.
She's going to be at the Kitchener show, and I'm pretty sure she's going to have Blue Moon there.
Yep.
And it's beautiful yarn. They have
Nice.
different bases. I love this Peru base. That's one of my whips. What's one of your whips? You're knitting on it.
Yeah, I'm knitting on it. I fell in love with the pattern. I've already finished it once. It's Sam Lamb Wellington Work Sock Shawl.
Oh, you're
So-
making another one.
Yeah, I'm making
Yeah.
another one.
So the one you just showed, but now you're working on this one.
I'm working on another one in a different
Finish
gray,
this row.
a different gray combination. I have 2 more stitches before I finish the row, and then we'll put it up.
Okay.
One.
And are you still going to do the cream and the red edging?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or else it would just be a shawl.
Yeah.
So this is more of a marled
Yeah.
gray.
It's their marled
Gray
gray.
and
I
cream.
love it.
Beautiful. It's going to look really nice
Yeah,
with the cream
so-
edge. And this is
Yeah.
also in classic wool.
Yeah. I had it in a box in the basement.
Okay. I did not finish this in time for our make along, but it does qualify for the Fiber Friends podcast, Northbound Knits make along, which is why I started it. This is Auspice by Lisa Mudge.
Don't you
It
hold
is a crescent shape. Yeah, do you want to grab that edge and we'll
One
just
second.
it'll do a flyby.
Ready?
Mostly garter, and it's got these sweeps of big lace. You do a double yarn over to make the big hole. But isn't that neat?
That is neat. Eh?
It's lovely. I blocked it last night, and I did not need this to go into a second skein. So this is one skein of Madeline Tosh Cashmerino. Nope, Madeline Tosh Pashmina.
Pashmina.
75% merino wool, 15% silk, 10% cashmere. It is a heaven to hold, and it is lovely to knit with, and beautiful around the neck.
Hey.
360 yards. Okay, so seriously, for a one skein project, and I knit a little bit loose, and I blocked it pretty, like I could block it again and probably make it even wider. That's an amazing size shawl
That is
for
really
one
good.
skein.
Now I did in one skein and a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I did a zilper, and the same color,
Love it.
the same yarn.
It just has texture. It's not
just-
it's
yeah,
not
it's
lace.
more texture.
It
I'm
just
not
has
a-
some texture stitches.
I'm not a big fan of lace, but this turned out really well. I
Really
love it.
nice.
Yes,
So I would normally wouldn't have indulged in the price point of Pashmina, but it was on sale at Feather Your Nest for 40% off. She's clearing it out to make room for some other stuff she's bringing in. So 40% off. It's cheaper than like the Merino Light.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great buy. And
I got mine from my
still have
birthday.
almost one left. I could probably almost do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is how much was left. 4 grams from my one skein.
How you should weigh it and see if you can.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good idea. And I actually did an extra. The only modification I did. This is the bind off edge here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's done. There's a boatload of short rows. Easy. Don't let that intimidate you. They're very easy. But I was supposed to just bind off, and then this was like the lace had had one purl row back, and I just thought this lace edge looked a little bit vulnerable, so I did there and back, and then my bind off. So it just gave just a slightly thicker edge for the lace.
I like that.
I do too, and it's easier for blocking to not have such a
That's what I was thinking.
vulnerable. Like that's the like it just
fun.
yeah. So very happy with that.
Very good.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Woo! So
And, okay,
do you have any other finished products?
I do.
Nice.
I need
Those
to
are
post these
loud.
for the Whip It Thursday.
Those are loud.
KAL. These are for my son. They're Minecraft Creeper socks. It looks like a lovely little mint green and black. It's not.
It's
like poison.
electric poison, toxic acid
You
color.
can't get it to come up.
No.
It's poison. And they're for him. So I did 56 stitches.
Mm-hmm.
I used a 2.25 millimeter needle.
Mm-hmm.
And I just used my, at the time, I cast these on in January. I got the yarn at Signature Books and Crafts in Goderich like a year ago.
That's like a long time ago.
in
Yeah.
October.
Okay.
But I just thought, oh, that's perfect for him because he's into Minecraft. And then I just used my old, these old gray metal needles
Beauty.
because at the time I didn't have a lot of sock needles and these were available. So I did 2 at a time, cuff down on these.
Nice.
Just a vanilla sock. Yeah.
Yay.
So those are done. Oh, and the yarn, is, I put it here for safekeeping. Shoulder and Stall, Fortissima, Mexico, and the color, there's no name, it's just color 275. So
Very cool.
I just have to put pictures in my project page in Ravelry, but details are in there. And that's that. And
I found 2 skeins. I love garter stitch. I don't know why. I just love it. It's just so.
when I met you, I hated garter stitch.
This is true because
I
you
did.
had that.
I didn't like the look for a garment, like for a sweater. Never.
No.
To me, it looks like it's inside out.
Yeah.
And however, I've come to appreciate it. I love knitting it because I don't have to purl. I do love that, and it does give you lots of
It just
room
seems
for
so
blocking.
squishy and
Yeah.
comfy and cozy.
So I don't mind it for shawls now. I still like stockinette. My mom always said stockinette. I still like stocking stitch better, but I don't mind garter.
So I found 2 skeins
Okay.
of
Oh.
Zen Garden Serenity Silk, which is 75% merino, 15 cashmere, and 10
Whoa,
silk.
this is massive. You just did
No.
a triangular shawl.
Yeah, I just did a triangular
Hello.
shape. I just did a triangular shape. But
Nice.
it's so soft. And I love the color. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Because to me, for that yarn, I would rather highlight the colors and the texture of the yarn.
And you
than
use
anything,
2 full skeins of their Serenity
I
silk?
think there's maybe 10 left. 10, what do you call it? Grams left.
Nice.
So yeah, it's
That's
nice,
beautiful.
big. And it's,
And that was Zen Yarn Garden.
yeah. Which is a local girl here.
They're actually local, but they don't, I think they distribute out of the
They
States
do,
now.
yeah, they do distribute out of the States.
I know Little Red Mitten carries their yarn.
So does London. London yarns.
I don't know if Shall We Knit does.
Can't remember.
I can't remember. They might not.
No.
They have beautiful yarn. Really nice.
It's very beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little colorful. Well, I say that like it's a bad thing. I'm
Needle
a gray
and-
girl.
Needle Emporium carries them
Yeah.
because I bought some on the Boxing Day sale at Christmas.
Yeah.
It has some sparkle in it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So those are all our FOs.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about your whip.
Yep.
I have a couple more whips.
A couple more.
Okay, so Oh, I talked about this.
You talked about that one.
Okay, that was my silver in the Peru. And I only have one more whip then. Well, I have other whips, but this is the only one I'm going to talk about. This
I'm still working on my sweater.
Yeah.
I left it at home though.
Okay.
What's in there?
I'm just carrying this around in my Mrs. Brown's bag because it's actually quite
Nice.
generous size.
Quite colorful too.
This one is she did a couple bags with some of the extra pieces from her fabric from bags that are just solid.
Okay.
So she put them together and made, which is kind of nice because you get different colors in one.
Very cool.
Yeah. Look at this one.
That one's so neat. That's
Lovely.
the yellow gray thing you.
This is the baby blanket. It's the
Oh,
alpaca
yeah,
baby
yeah.
shawl.
Okay.
I think I had just started it in episode 4. Ooh.
What'd you do?
I almost lost my stitches. Okay, I'll hold this if you want to pull it out. It's square, but it's knit in the round. So just go turn it. Yeah, just turn it a little bit so the light shows. Then you can kind of see the
That's kind of hard. Yeah.
there. So you can see it goes out from the 4 corners, and your increases are on those diagonal edges out. And there's just stocking stitch and some lace.
Yeah, it's like a scallop lace, eh?
It's really pretty.
It's really pretty.
Yeah. So this is coming along. The baby has been born. It's a gift for someone. I don't see her that often though, so I'm going to finish that up and get that to her in a while, this fall. And I am knitting that in loops and threads from Michaels. It is the poppy in colorway cream gray, and it's a worsted weight. It's actually nylon acrylic, and it feels very nice. It feels like it could be alpaca, actually. This is the softest nylon acrylic.
It actually has a haze to it too.
It feels nice. Like, it doesn't feel squeaky like a lot of acrylic can. And it has a halo. You can't really... Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. So it's actually very fluffy and soft, and I'm enjoying knitting with it. And there's a lot of yardage in those skeins. So if you're doing something like a baby blanket, you get a lot.
You get far.
Yeah. Other than that... Oh, okay, I do want to talk... Okay, so I was making this sock. This was my trip knitting too. I took this with me to try and finish a sock. Oh my gosh, it's like a yarn barf nightmare here. You know what? I'm gonna take the needles out because
Are you starting again? Anyways?
yeah. Okay. So.
Are you having bad sock? Like Karma?
It's just size.
Okay.
So this is the one I had started. I had the cuff, and I'm doing Susan B. Anderson's smooth operator.
That's a different
heel,
cuff, right? Okay.
She actually gives, it's a massive pattern because there's very detailed instructions with pictures. Then there's the short version if you just want to print out like 2 or 3 pages to take with you. And she gives you a few different options for the heel. I chose the one where you actually put in waste yarn. I showed that in the last episode. So there was waste yarn for the heel, and then you knit down the foot for a bit, and then you can come back and take out the waste yarn and put those live stitches and do, I guess it's the same as an afterthought heel. I've never done, this is the first heel I've done that wasn't a heel flap and gusset. So I loved it. It's very easy. I put it on. It feels good.
Okay.
It's just that it's too big. So I like my socks to be a little more snug. It just feels a little too loose. And the heel, for the size I was making, you do a couple of plain rows at the beginning. And it was, I think, 5 for the size I was making. I probably would have been good with 2 or 3. Right. And then your decreases to the heel. But very easy. And I really loved working it. And I was excited to learn something new.
There you go.
It's too big. So I'm going to stop here, tear it back. It's a shorty sock. It won't be that bad. And I'll redo it.
I have to do socks again. I have to figure it out.
You should try one of these, something different.
That's what I
try
thought.
that.
I'm gonna try that.
Vanilla is the new black. So this is Collinette. No, it's not Collinette. That's a different one. Biscotti yarns.
Biscotti.
And it is the...
I can remember anything that's named after food.
Biscotte or biscotti, whatever. Probably biscotte because I think they're French. Cactus flower is the colorway. It's in my project. I have it on my project in Ravelry, but it's cactus flower. And I thought it would be so cute to have nice bright color socks for summer, and now it's September, and I'm finally getting around to it. But I am going to make them. I'm going to do it over, and I'm going to do that heel.
Next summer.
And I was using a 2.25, and this is my new
Magic loop.
I forget what needle this is. This is
Addie.
this is the sock rocket.
Yeah.
Okay, Addie sock rockets, which I love. Because I probably would have been happy with the 2.0, but I'm going to do it over and I did 64 stitches. I'm going to do 60, and I'm going to keep the 2.5, and then I think I'll be fine with that and not do as many rows for the heel.
Very cool.
Yeah, and that's just I'm hauling that around in my very first bag, which has no handle.
Mine's got a handle.
Yours has a handle. Speaking of bags, so my Etsy shop is still in the works. I have some bags done. I have more to finish.
You have tons of bags.
I have to finish I'm making a homemade light box. I found some good videos on YouTube for photography for it. So I have to make that. I have everything I need to make it. And then I can photograph them and get them up next week. So hopefully by the end of next week, maybe we can do like just a really quick podcast to announce it. I'll be putting it on Instagram. I did get my business cards, so everything's lined up. I'm just not ready to open it yet. So I'm going to save everything that for a reveal for my shop opening. But it's coming.
We'll call that number 5.
5.5. 5 3/4, like on Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah,
Platform 9 3/4. I don't even know.
I think it was 9 3/4. That's not my department.
Have we talked about everything?
We did.
Oh, I had one other FO.
Okay.
I finished a second Close to You shawl. I
you
had
shipped that
Instagrammed
already.
it. These are the colors. It's Manos del Uruguay,
You should
Alegria,
just insert a picture too.
Malvin. I'm going to put a picture right here. Pause for a picture. And it's a gift for a friend who's a good friend of a good friend of mine, but I know her as well. And it's her birthday this coming weekend.
Happy birthday.
And Larice. Happy birthday, Larice. She doesn't knit, so I'm sure she's not watching. But my like BFF since we were probably 6 in Winnipeg is going to Port Credit this weekend to visit her. And so we had initially thought maybe we could connect since I was going to be going to the Kitchener show and, maybe I'd be able to connect and see her briefly. But she's busy with, it being the other friend's birthday and I don't want to take away from that. So I had said, well, I'll knit her a shawl and you can give it to her for her birthday. And we thought that was a lovely idea. So now that I'm not going to connect with her.
Tell them how it's getting there.
So our friends from Winnipeg met us in Wisconsin Dells last week and I finished it and blocked it the night before we left. And then it drove all the way to Wisconsin and it's going to drive from Wisconsin to Winnipeg. And then Tammy's going to pick it up from Stacy in Winnipeg, fly to Toronto to give it to Larice, who is only 2 hours away from me. But it just wasn't going to work out that I was going to see her. And there wasn't enough time to mail it and I didn't want to mail it to Larice when it's a gift from Tammy. It was just, yeah. So it just worked out. And yeah.
Okay.
We do what we need to do.
About people who are watching our podcast, not all of them knit. I recently found out that the woman my mom works with,
she watches?
She watches it. She doesn't knit. Hi, Susan. Yeah, she works with my mom.
My friend Tammy watches because
it's
she gets to see me.
Yeah, it's just funny because she said she was watching it. I'm like, does she knit?
I wonder if they probably
she
fast
doesn't.
forward through the boring knitting parts.
Probably.
Thanks everyone who watches.
Yeah.
Whether
Knitter
you knit,
or not.
crochet, whatever. I don't have any crochet to talk about. My mandala madness, I think I did like half of another row.
Those are big rows on that thing.
Already. And I'm like maybe...
You're a little bit
I'm probably 15%. I don't think I'm even going to make the full thing. It's round, so I can stop whenever I want. But it's on hold. I will finish it. I love it. It's just on hold. Upcoming events. We keep talking about the Kitchener show because that's our Rhinebeck. For people on Southwestern Ontario who are not going to Rhinebeck, Kitchener and Woodstock,
yep,
and the Toronto Knitters Fair.
Those are the big ones.
Are our 3 shows.
Yeah.
So we're excited to go to the Kitchener show. Woodstock is coming up October.
I like that one.
14th?
I'm not sure.
I have it here.
There you go.
Saturday, October 14th, 9 to 5.
Yay!
Woodstock is a really good show. It's smaller. in terms of real estate, but it's
got a
jam
lot
packed.
of
I wouldn't
nice
say
stuff.
it's smaller in terms of vendors. I
No.
don't know that it is.
If you do see us, make sure you say hi.
Say hi.
Yeah, make sure you say hi. It's kind of.
But if you meet me, if you see me in real life and meet me and come and say hi, if I seem awkward, it's probably because I'm probably going to think,
Where do I
where
know
do I
this
know
person
you from? Or how do you know me? Like I forget that I'm doing this and people
Yeah.
are watching us.
Just come up and say, hey, watch
And
the
that,
podcast.
so that part's
Hi,
kind of
ladies.
weird.
Yeah.
And that I know I'm talking to people out there I don't know.
Yeah.
But then they're getting to know us, but we don't know them.
Yeah, and it's nice to
And
get
that
to know
part's
them, though. That's one
just
of the things
different.
I love about the Ravelry page is you get to know them.
Yeah.
The other thing is when you meet me in person, I'm actually pretty short.
She's pretty small. Like a little hobbit. We've been watching Lord of the Rings, so.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'm sitting on a
I'm
cushion.
I'm only like a 4-inch taller hobbit. So
Yeah. So yeah, the
No-
nice lady
nobody
that did our
what are you gonna
our
wear?
logo made long.
You know how
gave us
everyone
long
does
legs.
Rhinebeck sweaters? It's too warm.
It's too warm. I
to
can't.
wear sweaters.
I just usually go in my.
I usually take a shawl.
T-shirt.
I don't know if I'll
Yeah.
take this one or the red one.
I don't know.
I'll take a shawl just to throw over
Oh.
my shoulders. Oh, you know what? Okay, so they did say no, because normally it's too warm. Because it's in an arena, the ice is already in this year.
Oh,
It's covered, but they said it'll be cooler in there. I mean, it's still a boatload of bodies.
I
which
would
warm it up.
have wore my gray sweater if I could.
Yeah,
It's a little short now.
we could put a shirt under it and make a statement.
This is what happened.
So you know, we might be able to. Well, I don't have a sweater, but
I love that guy.
it depends how warm you're going to be. So yeah, it may be cooler in there. For people going, last year, I didn't notice food options. Like if you're there long enough that you want to have some lunch, if you're feeling peckish, we packed some stuff, some snacks and stuff, and there were places to sit and eat, or you can tailgate. There may be some more this year, but I didn't notice that last year. If there was something, I didn't see it.
And
Whereas
if you see us
Woodstock,
tailgating, you can come
and join us.
You can
in the
grab
parking
a-
lot. Bring your lunch.
Yeah.
Woodstock had a lot of food, like they had places to sit down and eat.
They
and
had
stuff.
like homemade baked goods at Woodstock.
They had in the building, the main building, they had like a little. There's a kitchen there, so there were people preparing food. I think they had something like butter chicken. Like they had some really nice.
They did,
dishes.
and they make homemade soup.
Yeah.
And if you leave that building and go around the corner,
In the barn?
No, the opposite direction.
Farmers
There's actually
market.
a farmer's market.
We went to the barn,
Mhm.
Lynn and I,
Yeah.
and they had.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. They had a company doing wood-fired pizza. They had like a truck they pulled the barbecue thing behind it, and they
Nice.
so it was a long wait because it was made to
Well,
order.
Sometimes that's
It was
okay.
amazing.
Just bring your knitting.
So I hope they're again. Bring your knitting.
Waiting does not make me impatient in any way, shape, or form as long as I have my knitting.
I have to figure out what to bring that's small. I guess a sock. Oh, like the sock I'm going to redo. I could
Yeah.
do that.
Are you talking about bringing to Kitchener?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we have some downtime,
Well, we're gonna have some downtime that evening.
bring some knitting, and you're driving, so I get to do car knitting. Yay! It's her turn to drive.
And there's a big back seat that nobody's sitting in.
Yeah.
I would
I'm
take
not
more
gonna sit
people,
back
but we're
there.
sitting- but no, but you
Well,
can
we're
fit
going
lots
Friday.
of yarn back there.
Yeah, we would bring more friends, but we're
We're
going
going
Friday,
Friday.
and we're going to stay overnight, so we don't have to get up crazy early and drive the
heavens.
2 hours on Saturday.
Yay!
Yeah. I'm just I've been tired lately, and
I hear you.
yeah, so she agreed to come on Friday, and
She's putting me up.
I got the hotel room.
I got the gas.
Yeah.
I'm driving.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. So hopefully we see you there. For those of you, just again, thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate it. I haven't put up show notes in Ravelry for the last episode, but nobody's pinged me and asked me. I will do them. I will get them up there, and I will do.
If they're not up, feel free to ask. You
Oh
can,
yeah, just message
You can
us.
send me a message. I'll
Same
be
with,
more than happy to find out. And if I can't find out, I'll check with Dawn.
Another plug once more for a great Canadian or a Canadian Afghan. We'll
That's
put
awesome.
their contact info up there. If you don't know how to reach them and you want to reach them or you want a copy of the
I'll
book, you
put it
can
on
always let us know.
Instagram. I'll put that on Instagram.
Yeah, we will
as
post
soon
it
as
on
we're off.
Instagram.
And repost it on Instagram.
Repost it.
And we can put the information on.
It's
Ravelry.
amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's all.
That's it.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
We'll probably be back in about 2 weeks, before the end of September.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It goes fast.
It does. It goes by so fast.
But the kids are back in school.
Mm.
I like my son. I like hanging out with him. I just have one, so he doesn't get on my nerves that bad. He's actually pretty good.
But you find some days, like, I find sometimes the girl child can chatter and chatter and chatter and chatter, and I can't focus because I'll be doing something, she's chattering, and I'm like, honey, just let me get this done. And then, I go to, I finish, and then Yeah. I have a hard time keeping up with her, which is a big part of it, right?
Mm-hmm. He was in 4 weeks of camps this summer.
Yeah, mine only did
so
2.
He wasn't too. I hate when you get the I'm bored, and then you suggest things they don't want to do it. But otherwise, I miss him. Like I don't.
Oh yeah.
He's happy to be back at school.
Mm-hmm.
He got the teacher he wanted, the same teacher he had last year, because they're in splits.
Okay.
So he went up a grade, but now he's still in her class, and he's thrilled about that.
Good.
But I do miss him. So I know everyone's thrilled when the kids go back to school. I'm happy he's back in school with his friends, but I enjoy spending time with him too.
I love spending time with her, but there are times when I just what? Because mine doesn't sleep, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, go, 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 and I need my sleep.
She has a next door neighbor you can pawn her off when they're around. No, but she has, at least she can go to the neighbors.
No.
We had a great summer, and I can't believe it's getting cold now. And
I'm kind of glad because I can do more knitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I finished a few the old socks, and I have another whip that's been on the needles forever that I want to try and get done. I have 2 actually in mind. So I got to dig those out. And
2 weeks, buddy.
2
Get
weeks
them done. You can put them on
2 weeks. So I have something to talk about. That's a good thing about this podcast. It makes us knit.
I know. I felt really bad
things.
because I have nothing this week because we've been away for so long.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. We are going to say goodbye now. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
This thing doesn't work.